Alright, let me just close this out. Mad Dog 2001 here. A couple hours ago, just got done watching the Cardinals and the Cubs. And very good game by the Cardinals overall, defensively, pitching. Hitting was okay, even though they only scored one run. And I know that's been a very common theme in St. Louis, is only getting the one run or the two runs and then shutting out the opponents. Whatever works, I guess, at this point. They needed this win badly just because, you got to keep ground with Milwaukee. Milwaukee lost today, so now St. Louis is only 2 games back, so that's some positives right there. Matt Holliday hit his 10th home run today. That's the only run the Cardinals had. So, and then Adam Wainwright had the start, went I think it was 8 scoreless, 7. It was 7 scoreless. Segrist pitched an inning, and then Rosenthal got the save, which I don't know how many he's got this year. I didn't look it up. I should have done that before I started the stupid video. That's perfect planning by me. Alright, well, that's pretty much the game. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot that happened. It was, for the most part, kind of a boring game. Not a whole lot. Wainwright was Wainwright. He got into some trouble, I think, in the 6th inning. No, it was the 7th. Yeah, it was the 6th inning where he threw like, or it was 5th inning actually, my bad, where he threw close to like 30 pitches or something like that, but got out of the jam. We saw some pretty bad base running in this game. Anthony Rizzo's double off the wall, who got thrown out by Tavares. Then Carpenter thought he had a double too, and he got thrown out. So yeah, that's not good. The lack of speed on this team has been showing pretty much all season, and that's something that needs to be addressed. The guys that can run the bases don't hit at the top of the lineup, so that just is counterproductive for speed. When you got Peter Borges on the bench, you don't play him because he can't hit, and then when you do play him, he hits 8th. So that's just completely counterproductive there. Cardinals signed A.J. Pierzynski. I think this is, for the most part, a pretty good move. Tony Cruz just wasn't cutting it every day as a starter at catcher. So AJ brings in that added offense that the Cardinals desperately need right now. And defensively, he's okay. He's not anything special, but he should be able to get the job done as long as he's playing 60%. Cruz is playing 40% of the games. That should be fine. No crime there. Anything else? For people that are worried about A.J. Pierzynski's attitude problem, I think this is what the team needs. They need some kind of shake-up. They don't have they got leaders on the team, don't get me wrong, with Wainwright and Matt Holliday and I guess Johnny Peralta. But they don't. What they really needed was maybe an asshole in the locker room, a guy who can hold other guys accountable and just show another side of leadership. Some people think that whole leadership thing is completely overrated. You're free to believe what you want to believe. I think that this is something the team needs. In 2011, they needed something like this, and that's when Chris Carpenter had a team-only meeting. They went and played that phenomenal September and ended up winning the World Series. Chris Carpenter has a lot to do with that. And with Chris Carpenter's presence gone, and with Chris Carpenter gone in general, they've lacked that pretty much since last year. I mean, he was there in 2012, but last season they had that lack of veteran leadership. But they got to the World Series, but they lost. But it's no big deal. A.J. Pierzynski is a dick. He is an asshole. So maybe he can hold guys like Shelby Miller accountable and say, hey, I got my glove here. Hit the glove. Don't throw it over here. Don't nitpick. Don't shake me off. Just throw what I tell you to throw. And maybe Shelby Miller's season will turn around, because he needs someone to kick him in the ass, honestly. Because he just seems real lost out there, especially since Yadi's been gone, and with Tony Cruz is, I think, too much of a nice guy that he's not gonna go and be like, Shelby Miller, you got to do no. Shelby Miller's not going to take him seriously. Like an accomplished catcher like A.J. Pierzynski, a World Series winner from 2005, a guy who has been a proven guy. It's tough to say no to a guy like that. That and Yadi and Matheny having his back does, it's going to help. Both being, Yadi being the best defensive catcher probably of our generation, and Mike Matheny, one of the best defensive catchers maybe ever too. I mean, those guys are really, really good. So, they know what catching's all about. So, a couple more days until the trade deadline, and what should the Cardinals do? Do they need a starting pitcher? Do they need a third baseman / second baseman? Do they need an outfielder? Do they need something? Yes, they need all of that, to be quite frankly. If they can get an upgrade at second base, that would be phenomenal right now. And I don't know if Daniel Murphy's available or not, but if they can go and get him, go get him. I mean, don't give up Tavares for Daniel Murphy, because I don't think he's quite worth that. But if you can get David Price right now, and if the asking price, because I heard they had David Price and Longoria, like Cardinals were interested in kind of both. But now since the Rays swept the Cardinals, which is awesome there, and are on a little bit of a winning streak, David Price looks like to be off the trade market. And this I found kind of interesting. The Cardinals were interested in Jake Peavy for, I don't know, it seemed for going on for almost a month now. I've been reading on MLBTradeRumors.com, and they were in discussions with Peavy. The Red Sox sending scouts over to St. Louis to check out some AA or single A prospect pitcher, and then the Cardinals were sending scouts to watch Peavy. And then I wake up, I think it was yesterday. I wake up yesterday, and all of a sudden he gets traded to San Francisco. Like, where did this come from? Like, why? What does San Fran need Peavy for? Maybe they're just trying to block the Cardinals from getting him. Honestly, this is a blessing in disguise, because honestly, I don't think Jake Peavy would have done a whole lot with St. Louis, honestly. But they do need a starting pitcher, and if David Price is that guy, and if they have to get rid of Oscar Tavares to go get David Price, or if Tulu somehow ends up on the market, which is probably highly unlikely, but Carlos Gonzalez might be an interesting option there too, because of his versatility, being able to play right and center, mostly right field. If you can trade Oscar, maybe you can package Oscar Tavares and get rid of Alan Craig right now, and you can maybe get Carlos Gonzalez. I think Colorado would be foolish not to at least look into it. I mean, Oscar Tavares in that ballpark could just be a phenom. Plus, it'd be cheaper than Cargo. The Milwaukee Brewers have been playing some solid baseball as of late. I think they split with the Mets. I don't know if that was a 4-game series. I know the Mets won today. So you got Brewers are playing solid baseball. Reds are kind of slipping a little bit. Pirates are kind of slipping a little bit. The Cubs won't be there at the end anyway, so they're not really much of a threat to the division title, but they will be good, probably a season or two from now. Once all the call up their like 12 shortstops they got. Starting pitching this season, it's been outstanding overall as a unit. That's been the real strong point of the season. Mostly anchored by Lance Lynn and Chris Carpenter. Lance Lynn and Adam Wainwright. These guys have been just absolutely fantastic this season. With Shelby Miller has been up and down as usual, and hopefully they can get Joe Kelly back to form. I think they will. He showed a bad start, a good start, and then a so-so start. Maybe he can get back to that good start. Who knows? The Cardinals did take 2 or 3 from Chicago this past weekend, and they will go. They have an off day tomorrow, and will play San Diego. They go to San Diego and then come back home for Milwaukee. So if they can hopefully they can gang a game while they're on the road. San Diego is a light hitting club, so is St. Louis. But St. Louis pitch is really good, so hopefully they can at least take 2 or 3 over there from San Diego and come back home and win the season series against Milwaukee to take first place over. That's the expectations right now. Hopefully that can happen. Hopefully they're not like completely. Hopefully they don't get swept and be done like 6 games when they play Milwaukee, because that would just be worst case scenario, and that wouldn't even surprise me if that would happen. Hopefully they can land somebody in the next couple of weeks, or next couple of days, not weeks. John Mozeliak said today that there is no discussions right now with any clubs for making any kind of moves, besides maybe minor ones here and there. But he said there's been times where he had nothing on the table, and then 10 minutes happened before the deadline, and bam, Kobe Rasmus gets traded for like 4 dudes, like in 2011, or like last year where like nothing happened, or the year before where like nothing happened. So this is Mad Dog 2001. Leave some feedback. I'm not going to tell you to subscribe if you don't want to, but if you want to see more videos, subscribe. Check out some of my older ones. You can see how much the video quality has improved over the years, from way back in the day when I did my Peyton Manning sucks video, when I was, a childish fanboy, just getting on the internet for the very first time in 2007, and then how it's progressed to a little bit more informative videos. Got some backyard wrestling shit on here. That's some bad stuff. So anyways, Mad Dog 2001, take it easy.